Celeb Savant is a career retrospective type interview focusing on singers, actors, and industry experts. Join Barrett Edelstein now as he dives into the entertainment world.
Donia Youssef is a British multi-award winning author, film producer, writer, entrepreneur, and acting agent. A dedicated single mother to her two daughters, Donia is a cancer survivor who has battled breast, skin, and colon cancer. She channels her experiences into powerful works aimed at raising awareness, particularly for children and families facing illness, trauma, and mental health challenges. She is the acclaimed author of Monster in Mummy, a children's book that helps demystify and destigmatize cancer, inspired by her own diagnosis and the need to explain it to her young daughters at the time. She's also the producer of the broader Monster series, an awareness book and film series. Her projects including animation like Willow's Journey, Monster in Mummy, Sadie and the Grove, Rosie the Rapper and Friends, and Monster in Wonderland have earned over 92 global festival wins. Donia creates stories centered on overcoming adversity. She also runs Wonder Talent Management Limited, a successful acting agency for film and TV, and collaborates widely with directors, producers, writers, and industry professionals. A philanthropist and ambassador for cancer research, she turns pain into purpose through education, literature, and media. Up next on Celeb Savant, we've got Donia Youssef. Where in the world are you and how are you doing?
Well, thank you for having me on your podcast today. I'm in London, UK.
Okay, so now let's rewind. At what age, whether as a child or teenager, did you think, okay, I want to be in this creative world, and how did that journey progress?
From very young, I was always into reading and writing, always very creative. I was pushed to go into medicine or dentistry or be a lawyer, and it just wasn't me. So I was a little bit of a rebel, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do. So 16, I moved out of home. I'd had enough, and I refused to do A-levels. Again, I was like, no, that's not for me. I went to private school, had quite strict parents, mother a teacher, father a doctor. Obviously, they had their high expectations, but I wanted to do me and find out who I was. So I traveled the world, did multiple jobs, and I went into dentistry actually as a dental technician, which was creative. So I was making the false teeth, was at King's Hospital, was learning how to make dentures, crowns. But I was in a laboratory with just two very older gentlemen, should we say. Yeah, it wasn't me. Where I've had so much energy and creativity, I thought, let me just, I've tried it. It's not for me. So I then started working in London in the media sector. So I was managing accounts on various publications. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Young, vibrant. I knew that was my field. So I did a lot on the recruitment and the publishing side. Then I worked for Lord Alan Sugar of The Apprentice. And I learned then, how to develop and set up companies. That was something I always knew I wanted to do. I wanted to work for myself. So worked there for a few years with all the winners of The Apprentice, and that was good fun. And then I decided to have a baby, and I didn't want to go back to work after I had her. So she was doing a lot of baby modeling, and I just loved going with her, and I learnt the ropes, and I was thinking, actually, I've got all these contacts in the industry over the years in the publishing world and the media sector. I'm pretty sure I can do it. So I set up a company called Tiny Angels. I literally created the social media, built my own website, and it literally just took off overnight. Within 6 months, I had to recruit full-time member. And yeah, I built the company up over 10 years, and it became London's top UK modelling and acting agency. So that was really good fun. Lots of hard work, lots of ups and downs. But I enjoyed it. Absolutely loved it. Loved the buzz, loved the fast pace of it. However, in 2017, just after I had my second child, I was getting very, very tired, and I was thinking, I need to slow down. The weight was coming off. And unfortunately, it wasn't the case. I got diagnosed with breast cancer. That put a spanner in the work, should we say. But the sort of person I am, quite resilient, I was like, I'm not going to let this define me. I'm going to fight. And I'm still going to work. I was managing then a team of 10. I had 2 children, a 3-year-old and an 18-month-old baby. And it was a lot of work. It was full on. I had to have chemo. I was told there was a 40% chance I might not make the first year. I was like, I always want to prove the opposite. So it's like, love a challenge, throw it at me. So yeah, I went through 6 months of chemo, double mastectomy, reconstruction, hysterectomy. So there was a lot of changes. At that point, I was like, something's got to give. So I decided to sell the agency and focus on my children and just take a slower pace of life. And this is what I always say to people, it's like having a Ferrari car. If you're in first gear, like, you're not going to be able to move forward if you're already on that pace. So I struggled slowing down. I just couldn't. It just sent me worse. So I was like, right, no, I'm going to do something. I'm going to write. I'm going to get all of this out of me, what I'm feeling. In the chemo ward, I started my first book, something I'd always wanted to do. Again, before it was kind of fear stopping me or not thinking I was good enough to do it. But after facing death a few times, I was like, actually, no, I can do this. Wrote the first book, got a publisher on board. Within 48 hours, it became Amazon bestseller in its category. And it just reached, huge media across UK nationally and America. Then film producers reached out and said, look, we'd love to turn this book into a film. So I was like, great. So then I got the buzz for that. Got put in remission in 2018. And it was like my whole perspective on life had changed. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do things I love and I want to give back. That was something I was really passionate about. So I was like, okay, I'm going to help other cancer survivors or people who are struggling in life. And I'd obviously seen a lot of issues with regards to people who couldn't tell their kids that they had cancer. I'd lost a sister to suicide. So obviously mental health, it was a long 20 odd years ago now, but also seeing the damage it done to her children. Obviously there was trauma, and I was thinking, I don't want to be one of these victims. I'm going to turn trauma into power and empower others, give them a platform to share their story and make them feel, empowered. They don't need to, have grade A's, whatever, in A level. If you really want something, you can get it. So that was my perspective. I then I've written over 35 books.
Oh, wow.
Now. And I've helped other people publish their books, including children. And yeah, that was more meaningful for me than anything else. It was just seeing the achievement, seeing their little faces smile, and, just lifting their spirits, lifting up their vibrations. Yeah, just having an outlet. And I've really found the creative outlet really worked for me. So I shared a lot. I then became the first ever author at Hamley's Toys, the big, large, worldwide toy shop in London Regent Street. As the first author to do a very first book signing. That was all very exciting. Life just, it went from horrendous to actually, life's okay. And actually, all these challenges thrown at me, it was empowering for me to think, actually, it's not that scary. It's not that scary being on my own now. Yeah, your whole perception in life changes. I then decided to work the other side of the film industry because I was so keen to see how these film producers were producing movies. And I started writing scripts. I learned how to screenwrite. I've won, gosh, over 96 global film festivals for the scripts I've written to date. Yeah, I've written animation, live action feature film, which is going into production very, very soon. And we're working with one of the biggest, largest independent film studios in the world. Yeah, I mean, obviously got mega stars reading the scripts currently. We've just got finance, which is all really exciting. Yeah, it's incredible. So I can give the project name. It's called Willow's Journey. And that's actually born from seeing the struggles my niece and nephew had when obviously they lost their mummy so young. And not just them, it's other kids as well. And I'm the sort of person I just want to help everybody, but there's only one of me. Hence, I wanted to get out this mass, get information out to these kids. And this is predominantly why I wrote the children's books, to help them from young so they don't struggle in life. And I think, obviously, where I've been and I've come out the other end, it's like I wouldn't wish that on anyone else. And I'm just trying to give them tools to leverage them. So say, they come out of the cinema very positive, but it's giving them strategies and coping strategies and tools to help them, which I think is really valuable in this world right now. And, the generation of the kids nowadays are, on a different level. So it's just kind of getting kids to be kids. That's where I'm kind of getting back to. But yeah, I'm then launched. I was getting frustrated when I was casting for films myself, produce films as well. So I'm working on quite a few at the moment. And I was just so frustrated with agents because obviously I've been an agent myself for 10 years prior. I was like, oh my goodness. So then I was like, right, I'm just going to do it. So I then launched my own acting agency. Yeah, that's been going for about 3 years now, going really well. Place our actors in fantastic roles. So we're, busy. We're expanding over to the States, Europe. Yeah, I mean, I just have these kind of inspirations and I just don't hesitate. I just literally just go with the flow. And then I just love seeing what happens. So life life is pretty good right now. Yeah, nothing is too hard or too difficult for me. I'll always find a solution. And if I can't physically do it, I can outsource. So it's just literally been highly organized. If something works, fantastic. If it doesn't, that's okay. You've learned from it. That's kind of my theory in life, to literally just do what you love, be kind, show a lot of love, and just do everything which makes you happy, and eliminate certain people in your life if they're not serving a purpose or they're not aligning with you on your journey. And actually, don't be scared. It's okay to feel, and we're all human. That's a little bit about me and my crazy life.
Wow. Thank you for sharing and being open and honest. I appreciate that. Currently, am I correct in understanding that at the moment you've got your acting agency, you're producing films, you're doing screenplays or script writing, and you're still doing books? Are you doing all of those things at the same time? Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yes.
So how do you balance your day? Is it like, okay, a little bit here, a little bit there, or you just let it flow as it flows?
I take my children to school at 8 o'clock. I've also got 3 horses, 3 dogs, cats. So I have to literally manage my time structurally very early. So every morning I go, I'm up at 4 a.m. and I find myself quite productive then. It can be really full on. I mean, I pretty much work 7 days a week. I'm up late at night, but I'm not where I need to get yet. So once I'm there, then I'll be able to breathe. I'm aiming to retire probably in 2 years. But then I say that and my brain can't take it. I just need to do something else. I'm feeling quite grateful that actually now anyone I talk to, it's like, I love giving them ideas. I love showing them how to be their own boss and actually cutting out all the generations it's taken me to get where I am. And I think there's a lot of people who don't want to share and don't want to help others, achieve. There's some weird kind of, I don't know, like maybe competition insecurity that others will do better than them. That there's plenty to go around in this world. And that's my attitude. Yeah, eventually love to help others achieve their dreams. And obviously that's what I'm doing right now.
Are all your books kids' books that you've written?
Majority are, but not all. So Let Your Truth Set You Free. I wrote that on the foreword with one of the biggest charities and Samaritans, that I reached out to people who had suffered with mental health and to share their stories. I had 20 case studies, and actually the stories, I said, just write from your heart and just don't worry about what anyone else thinks. And literally just seeing 20 people so happy to share their story. I published it on Amazon. We had top psychiatrists analysing each case study. And again, this really helps others. So yeah, everything I do, there's a purpose or a meaning behind it, not just for the sake of it or not just for financial. I feel like I need to leave a legacy behind. And for my kids, for other people in the world. And I just feel, I'm obviously not there quite yet, but very close. And it just comes to me. It's an inspiration. So if I feel going through a breakup, for example, I'll write a children's book on divorce. And then it just flows. So it's literally anything which may affect me slightly, I'll just get it out in a book, but then do my research and put it in a way for kids. But yeah, like I said, I've done plenty of adult books. Again, more on the kind of the self-healing, some are fantasy. Yeah, it's literally just depends where I'm at that time. But they've all done really well. There's a few Amazon bestsellers out there. It was literally, my life had a different purpose and perspective, and it was all about legacy, what I can leave behind, and make a mark in this crazy world we live in.
Yeah. It sounds like writing books comes quite easily to you. When something happens, you said it just flows through. Am I correct in my understanding?
Yeah, I get like hyper focused, and I will literally just write. Yeah, I can write and publish a book within 2 weeks.
Oh, well.
And I wrote a screenplay, gosh, in one weekend because of a whole feature film. Once it's there, it just flows. It just comes out so naturally. I guess a little gift. And it's the creative mind. I always say to people, just let it out. Just be who you are and speak the truth.
How do you know when a story is going to be a book compared to a screenplay? Is there something within you that knows, okay, this is a book compared to a screenplay?
100%. Yeah. With a screenplay, you're writing it is completely different, which I learned at the beginning. And I was actually still writing the screenplays initially, just trying it, but they were too story-fied. So with the screenplay, you've actually got to, when you're reading it, you've got to feel like you're in the movie, if that makes sense. With the books, it's a proper a proper story. Everything's different, which is something that I had to work on and learn. Yeah, I did a lot of courses, read a lot of screenplays, and then understood actually, okay, this is how it is. But yeah, it's just educating yourself, learning things. Met a lot of sharks in this industry. There's a lot of people who take advantage, should we say? But it wasn't going to stop me. So I then decided to do a law degree. So I'm in my final year. I know. I just don't stop. Yeah, I passed all my modules so far. So a year to go. And then I just thought, yeah, I'm just fed up with these people and I'm not one to fight. I need justice and I want people treating people correctly. And it was just, I guess, another thing. It was like to prove, okay, it doesn't matter what age you are. I'm 50 in 2 years. And I was always like, oh, you're not even going to be qualified to sweep the streets. You're not going to be this. It was just also negative. And actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you are in life, what age you are. Anything is achievable. And I'm obviously training to be a barrister because I want to represent underrepresented people and help them ultimately. I'm moving obviously in that direction, but we'll be working obviously for myself. I want to create my own dreams, not create someone else's dreams.
Yes.
And that's what I always advise and help others. Be your own boss, create your own dreams, and then you can make those decisions yourself.
You said you also produce movies. So do you always produce your own screenplays that you write or not necessarily?
I mean, I do produce all the screenplays that I write, absolutely. I also produce and help other producers with their films and scripts as well. But yeah, I mean, it's been 7 years in the film producing sector, but I've been loving it. It's tough, but it's actually gained me a lot more skills.
Obviously, when you're producing your own screenplay, you have the knowledge, you have the feeling, you got the energy because you've written it naturally. When you're assisting another or collaborating with another artist, is it easy to get the feel and picture that they would like to create, or does it take a while to get into their world?
I can pretty much tell within a few seconds whether they will be capable to deliver that emotion. I've cast quite a few actors. Some actually bring a different perspective, and actually it's amazing. So it's just getting them to feel relaxed, getting them to really feel and believe their role in the movie. And I'm pretty relaxed, as long as they are, yeah, they don't feel awkward, they're very natural. If they want to change some, which makes the delivery of the scenes and script better, then I'm all for that. To be fair, the scripts change so much. That was something I didn't actually realize. After you've done your readings, it's not you've got to learn these lines and that's it. You got to feel comfortable with these lines. You've got to feel the lines and feel what feels right with you, because it will come across so much better on screen.
What does it mean to be an agent for actors?
It's a big responsibility because it's their careers at stake. It's a big responsibility. I always go above and beyond. A lot of my actors have actually been with me since Tiny Angels, since my very first agency. So some of them were children. So that means a lot. But yeah, it's not about the money at all. I just love picking up that phone, just say, you've been confirmed. And that makes me so happy. Literally, that's the buzz I love. It's a lot of hard work. Very, very time critical. Casting director wants this now. Want them to do a tape within the next 2 hours. Then you're arranging flights for actors who shoot abroad. Many of mine have shot all over the world. But I love that fast pacedness. I love the buzz. And every project's different. It's just busy, but it's also a very competitive industry. which makes me push harder, because a lot of them are extremely talented actors, but they're just not getting the lead roles because someone's more commercially viable. And again, that's not fair. It's not right. Where I'm at now is, obviously, I launched my own film studio, Monster World Studios. And my films I'm producing, I'm bringing in the actors. So everything's in one big family. You know, they will get lead roles just because they haven't got a million followings or whatever. It's not about that. It's about the talent. And that's what I've seen in this industry, which it's not fair. And this is their careers. And it can be something so trivial as well. And yeah, so I mean, I push, but obviously I'm working behind scenes to bring them so many more opportunities that will develop them, because they need a chance. And obviously it shouldn't be about commercially viable, blah, blah, blah. However, I get it. You know, you've got the big streamers wanting to make money, but they also need to give a chance to others who are just as good, if not better. That's something I'm strongly passionate about as well.
What else can you tell us is coming up that's exciting, that you are allowed to tell us?
I will be going into production in July this year. The movie, obviously Willow's Journey, we have a director attached who was involved with Sin City. So he's a big boy, and I can actually say his name. So it's Eric Pham. He was also involved with Mission Impossible. He's over in the States. Great guy. I can actually also say we're working with an amazing, amazing company, amazing people, Cross Creek Pictures over in the States. And they did The Black Swan with Natalie Portman. And yes, I can't say the actors.
No.
We're in communication at the moment, but I can obviously say, obviously, who's attached. We've also got Luke Howard. He actually wrote the script with me as well. He's amazing. We also have another producer, Bob Thompson, who's involved. Yeah, I'm literally just loving this journey. But yeah, it's pretty impressive what's been achieved so far. And yeah, I'm just literally buzzing every day. And I've also got another film as well, which is based on my true life story. Kind of less about me. I'm more focused about helping others. Yeah, and I've kind of gone past that. And I just want to, just leave something incredible behind. Yeah, I just kind of pinch myself each day thinking, whoa, what's happening? What's going on? But actually, it is pretty amazing.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Celeb Savant. Please follow Barrett on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at Celeb Savant. That's CelebSavant.